first on CBS This Morning. We are excited to have the two-time gold medalist with us at the table. Ashleigh, good morning. And I got to start here. Can we feel that medal? Because it looks so heavy. I mean, like, it's an Olympic gold medal.
It's so heavy.
Oh my God, It really is. To have two of these, do you have perspective now on what that means?
I mean, it's so interesting because everyone fixates on the medal, but the medal is just like a representation of this whole journey. It's so beautiful and it means so much to me, but it's like all of the hard work of the past 5 years, of the previous 4 years that goes into building that medal in like a figurative sense that really, really is what we're going to hold on to. And this just represents all of that.
It's so interesting to say the past 5 years, of course, instead of the past 4 years, because you went through this grieving process, you say, after the Olympics were delayed. What was it like with that kind of extra year you had to stay fit for?
Yeah, there were a lot of, it was hard to adjust. It was hard. Like you said, there was a grieving, the loss of the Olympics. We didn't know. There was so much uncertainty about whether the Olympics would actually even happen. And then there was kind of like a resurge of energy because we had a new goal. We had a new destination point, and we were suddenly moving towards the 2021 Olympics. So within our team, there was a lot of growth, a lot of new energy, and just everyone kind of came together to support each other and take on a new role within the team, which was so cool to see.
I think I started saying it's even longer than that. This goes back to childhood, to when, I was joking with you about on the swim team, water polo was our day off on Friday. And that's how some people fall in love with it. But this is something you've worked towards your whole life.
Yeah, and I didn't have a typical Olympic journey. I didn't have the dream when I was really young. And part of that is because I didn't see people who looked like me in the sport when I was younger. But for a lot of our teammates, this has been in the works since they were very young, and they set that Olympic dream early and they pursued it. So celebrating that with them, celebrating my also individual Olympic dream coming true, it means the world to all of us.
You want to try to change that idea. When you say you didn't see somebody who looked like you in the sport, it is a very white sport, water polo, period. Swimming even more so. How are you trying to change that?
So the first thing that I had to do to change that and to realize my role in it was to understand the context of exclusion and inclusion in aquatic spaces for people of color, and just understand why there weren't more people who look like me in the sport, in aquatics in general. And then I realized that it's a huge responsibility, but it's a responsibility that I had the opportunity to welcome, and that I could welcome by literally just being here. I could just be a mirror that a young Black girl or a young Black boy could look to and see themselves in. And I realized how powerful that was and how powerful that could be for someone who's coming into our sport and maybe has heard the stereotype that Black people don't swim, or looked and didn't see anyone who looked like them and just kind of got discouraged. So it's part of my mission to change that.
It's definitely inspiring. I think we also need to talk about how difficult water polo is. It may have been a break day for swimmers, but that's only because swimming is a boring process.
That was right. It was a break from the back and forth.
In the pictures that we showed introducing you, Ashleigh, you're in the pool, and it looks like you're standing on solid ground with your arms in the air or diving, but of course you're not. You're treading water the whole time. How do you stay in shape? How do you get in shape and stay in shape
How do you
for that?
rise up out of the water to
core strength, right?
It's full body strength. I always talk about how water polo isn't just what you see. We look really calm from here up, but we're constantly working underwater. It takes a lot of leg strength. It takes a lot of arms. I push with my hands and do a huge breaststroke kick for people who know what a breaststroke kick is, to lunge, to block the ball. But also it's a game that requires a lot of intelligence. As a goalkeeper, I'm constantly making reads. I'm communicating to my defense what's open. I'm manipulating a lot of different things in the water, including my own body, to try to make that stop, to try to make a pass, to stop the other team from scoring. And it's just such a fun game, and you do have to be very strong.
So let me ask you about your journey, how you got to be an Olympian. I mean, you talked about being a catalyst for change for young Black boys and girls going forward, but what was it like for you when you first stepped into the pool?
I stepped into the pool, and my journey with aquatics, with water polo, has always been about fun. So I didn't love swimming because
it's boring. boring sometimes. It really is.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's a little bit boring. I was like singing in my head. I was like, okay, we just gotta get to the wall, like flip turn. But yeah, my family was there. My social life was there. Like, I just had fun with it, and I continue to have fun with it to this day, and that's why I can stay here so long. But I grew up in a family of 5 children. We had a pool in our backyard, learned to swim from a Jamaican Olympian, which I wasn't aware of when I was young, but...
You didn't know that they were an Olympian?
I didn't know that she was an Olympian. It was amazing, like looking back at the whole journey now, but we learned to swim together and just grew so much together in the sport that I really highly recommend.
So you had blockers on. In other words, when you would show up at the pool and let's say you were the only person of color there, that didn't faze you.
That didn't faze me because I grew up with my siblings in the sport, and we had a lot of support within our club team growing up. So when I left in high school, like going to the national team, going to college, I became more and more aware of other people's perception of me and whether or not I should be there. But I was already developing like the protective mechanisms, you know, the things that I told myself about myself, the stories that I had about myself that I knew didn't confirm those stories. Like, you probably shouldn't be swimming. Like, what about your hair? What about like all of these things? And I hope that me being here kind of breaks through those stories that other people tell young Black kids in aquatics about themselves, so that they don't even have to doubt, they don't even question whether or not they belong here, because we belong here, we're strong, we excel in aquatics, and there's so much opportunity.
You more than excel. Real quickly, I know you just finished an Olympics, but will there be potentially a 3rd gold medal for you, another Olympics for you?
I don't want to, there's always potential, there's always the journey, but if anything I've learned in the past year and a half is that you can't predict what's going to happen. You can't, I can't say where I'm going to be in 3 years, but I hope it's at the top of the podium again, and I hope it's with this team.
Interesting. There's a lot of potential on that side of the table. On this side of the table,
Not so much.
We'll be cheering you on. We'll be cheering on. We're so proud of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks for letting us hold the medal.
Yes.
Of course.
Ashleigh Johnson, you're amazing.